Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss about the topic GST, which is not in your textbook because it is a new addition to your syllabus. So listen carefully. Goods and Services Tax is an indirect tax levied in India on the sale of goods and services. It has replaced all indirect taxes levied on goods and services by the Indian central and state governments. The GST was launched at midnight on 1st July 2017 by the President of India, Sri Pranab Mukherjee, and the Prime Minister of India, Sri Narendra Modi. The launch was marked by a historic midnight session of both the houses of the Parliament. GST, Goods and Service Tax, is a comprehensive tax which is levied on sale, purchase, and manufacture of goods and services at a national level. In GST regime, no distinction is made between goods and services for levying of tax. It has substituted all the indirect taxes levied by the central and state governments in India. Taxes subsumed in GST or taxes that are submerged in GST. Central taxes like central excise duty, additional excise duty, service tax, additional customs duty, special additional duty of customs, excise duty on medicinal and toilet preparations are submerged in GST. And the state taxes like sales tax, value or value added tax, entertainment tax, central sales tax, octroi and entry tax, purchase tax, luxury tax, taxes on lottery, betting and gambling are submerged in GST. Need of GST in India. Simple tax structure. There were huge number of taxes that need to be paid by consumers, while with the GST it is single tax to be paid, which is much easier to understand. Increase in tax revenue. Simple tax structure will bring more taxpayers and more revenue for the government. Also, GST will help in avoiding tax evasion. Reduction in prices. Since GST will eliminate all the indirect taxes, the tax amount paid by the consumers will reduce. This will lower the prices and this implies demand for products will also increase. Enhances transparency. GST will bring transparency to taxation and chances of corruption will not be there. Increase in GDP. Since GST will convert many non-taxpayers to taxpayers, it will increase the revenues of the government. GST is expected to increase tax by at least 2%. Positive aspects of GST. GST is a simplified tax regime. It saves time as well as cost since procedural costs are low. It leads to a more transparent and neutral tax system. In a long time, it will lead to higher output, more employment opportunities, and higher GDP. GST would eliminate the double taxation, that is, cascading effects of taxes on production and distribution cost of goods and services. The reduced tax burden on companies will reduce production cost, making exporters more competitive. It will help in creating a common market across states. Then, negative aspects of GST. GST is actually a dual tax system in which state and center both collect separate tax on single transaction of sale and services. All the goods and services are not covered under GST. The system of input tax credit is difficult to understand for the common man and or small manufacturers. The benefits of GST will outweigh its cost. Although GDP will be negatively impacted for some time by the GST, as there will be transitional problems and people will be adjusting to the new tax regime. However, the positive effect of GST economic activity is likely to be visible in the long run. GST has not affected the everyday life much. There won't be any tax on almost 50% of items in the consumer price index basket, including food grains, eggs, meat, milk, car, salt, bread, etc. Can you recall the features of working model of GST that we made for last year's exhibition? In that model, we explained the working of GST, but it is not included in your syllabus, so it is not mentioned here. Thank you.